Hey everyone, here is the long-awaited video that many of you have been requesting about me talking about my SUPERKIT and sort of explaining what's on this ginormous drum set here. Anyways, let's start. You know what? Let's start with the pedals. Let's get the downside out of the way. Whole bunch of pedals. Okay, now I am definitely not trying to be Terry Bozzio or Thomas Lang. These are simply pedals that create a certain sound, okay? And starting left to right here, I've got the Yamaha DTX bass drum, which I can assign to any sound that I want, coming from the DTX module. Next to that is a Hansen Foots trigger pedal. They sell these as practice pedals, but if you look close down in there, there's a trigger, a DT20, Yamaha DT20 trigger. So when I step on this pedal, it'll give me a sound, whatever I assign the sound to be. Okay, next over to that is a hi-hat stand, legs folded up with a high shaker attached to it. Okay, high shaker, very cool. Next to that is my regular hi-hat stand, metronome, gotta have it, to the hi-hat stand. Next to that is left side double pedal. Next to that is another Hansen Foots pedal that can be used as a accessory pedal for, you know, cowbell, tambourine, woodblock, whatever you want, you know, so you can actually get this little bar that goes in there, and I'm not using it as a trigger, I'm using it as a percussion pedal. Next to that is another trigger pedal. And next to that is a regular bass drum. Over to the right of that is a X hi-hat, or a cable hi-hat that runs all the way up and actually activates that other high shaker up there. So when I step on that pedal, the cable remote hi-hat activates that high shaker. Next to that, two more trigger pedals. And next to that is a Meinl foot cabasa. Kind of a cool effect, something that Meinl sort of did a couple of years ago. And then over to the right there is another foot percussion pedal. One of my little parts came apart, so I have to wait for that to get repaired, but that'll be back in action real soon. So yeah, but obviously I can't play them all at the same time, but I just do, you know, one at a time kind of thing, or two at a time, or cross step on the pedal so you can get both at the same time, things like that. Anyways, let's go up to the regular drums. The red drums you see here are Yamaha Recording Custom. I've had these for over 10 years. Birch, 100% birch, Yamaha of course, and 8, 10, 12, 15-inch floor tom and a 16, 22-inch bass drum. The snare drum, I've got various snare drums. The one on this kit right now is a brass, 6.5 by 14 brass Yamaha shell. Okay, that takes care of the drums. In front of the drum kit, you can't actually see it, or maybe I can if I do this. There's a sub kick down there. Awesome for recording and for live. Sub kick, you might have seen it on a few of my DVDs. Anyways, everything is on the hex rack, Yamaha hex rack, kind of hard to see, but majority of the stuff that you see is all on this big giant Yamaha hex rack. So barely any stands. Most of the stands are on this side. A couple of microphone stands, things like that. But mostly all on the hex rack, believe it or not. Okay, starting over here with drums. Okay, let's go down to the bottom here. This is an old Yamaha Timbalito, which is a wooden timbali, 10-inch, and no bottom head, as you can see. And very cool effect. Something I've always liked is having a timbali to my left. Right above that is LP mini timbalis, 6-inch and 8-inch. Okay. Above that, a set of LP classic bongos. I can play them with sticks or with hands, either way. Okay. Get a lot of questions about these two guys. Okay, now believe it or not, these are actually snare drums. If you look real close, you can see the snare wires in there, and there's a throw off right here. And I won both of these drums in like little contests. I don't even remember what they were, but it was an 8-inch snare and a 10-inch snare. and I converted them to kind of like concert toms, almost like the old Phil Collins or sort of Neil Peart type of vibe, with thinner heads, and really cranked them up so they sound timbali-ish or concert tom-ish. Okay. To the right of them is a couple of octobons, actually metal octobons. They were a little bit cheaper. I got those guys about a year ago, 16-inch deep and an 18-inch deep, both 6-inch. All the heads that I'm using are Evans heads all around, various heads depending on the sound that I'm going for. You know, for example, you know, clear G1, clear G2, clear, what's this? This is a G1, clear EC2, clear G2, clear G2, and a clear G+. It's just so personal. I just go through all these different heads to see which ones seem to work. On my toms, I go through the EC series. These are the coated ECs. They're not truly coated. They're almost like a frosted, but they call them the coated series. And I like the clears, I like the coateds, I like the G2s, I like the G2 clears, I like the G2 coated. So it's really a personal preference of a sound that I'm going for. Snare drums, I usually like the Super Toughs or the STs or the Power Center Reverse Dots. Bass drum, either the EMAD, EMAD2 or the GMADs. Bottom heads are all clear G1s on the toms. Okay, that should take care of the drums, I believe. As far as the drum heads, yeah. Okay, going back over here to the percussion side of things. Old set of wind chimes that I've had for, long time. These guys are some handmade, hand-carved wood blocks that I had hand-carved in Africa many years ago. And they're still with me, but they're not meant to be really played really hard. They are starting to see a little bit of wear just from playing them a lot, but very cool effect. Electronic cymbals from the Yamaha DTX series, and I use those for, once again, more special effects sounds and whatnot, not necessarily crash cymbal sounds. That's just me. Down here is a LP stealth block and LP tambourine. Let's go over here. Okay, oh wait, we got a high shaker. Got the high shaker right here. There's the awesome high shaker. A lot of people ask about what that is. It's a shaker effect. Play with the foot. These guys here, okay, we have an LP, I believe they call it an ice bell. I got this when we did the Latin drumming system. They sent us a few LP things and I got that. These, believe it or not, these three little bells here, they're not splash cymbals, they're actually bells. And what I did is I had some old crash cymbals that a friend of mine gave to me many years ago, and I'm thinking, okay, you want to give me broken cymbals? Thanks, man. What I did is I cut out the bells. I had a friend that had a machine shop, and I just said, let's cut these bells out and smooth out the edges and see what happens. And they sound really cool. There's a couple of videos I have up on YouTube where I'm using the bells, and it didn't cost me a dime. You know, those little things can be pretty expensive, but got them for nothing. Of course, my whole series of Peisty cymbals. There's another video I did on all my Peisty cymbals, all the new Peisties right now. Very cool. Electronic drums that, once again, I use more for sound effects rather than using them as an electronic drum set per se. I can do that if I wanted to, but at the moment I'm not doing that. So more for sound effects and triggering various sounds that I cannot get with my acoustic drums. Okay, so the Yamaha, the new DTX, these silicone-based pads, very cool. You guys got to go to the music store and try these out. They feel great. Cowbells, got a cowbell right there between the snare and the floor tom. A couple more cowbells over here. Like I mentioned earlier, another high shaker. So I've got another high shaker that's attached to the cable hi-hat. And yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to be doing a couple of videos coming up here in the future where I'm going to incorporate a lot of the stuff on this drum set. And keep in mind too, it's I don't move this thing around very much. Everything is kind of planted here and mic'd up, and this is in my studio, so I do a lot of recording here. And yeah, it is a drag to move it. I have moved it around a few times, and it does take a little while. I'm pretty quick at setting everything up, so it doesn't take me too long to set everything up. It definitely looks pretty spectacular on stage, and you know, never any fun to tear it down but and haul it around, but it's meant to sort of stay stationary. When I do play live, you guys might have seen some pictures on my Facebook or my website. Usually a 5 or 6 piece drum set, nothing too elaborate. but this is sort of my, can record anything. I can get any sound. I can add percussion to this kit. I can add my marching snare, more electronics, whatever the deal is. So kind of the full meal deal as far as what sounds I may need for recording. Microphones that I'm using, mostly the Audix D series, D2s on the toms, D2 on that floor tom, a D4 on my last low floor tom. I've got a D6 mounted inside the bass drum, and of course the sub kick up front. Everybody's been using these Shure SM57s for snares. They work wonderful. Underneath I've got a Rode NT1000 for the snare bottom. Up top I've got the 51s Audix series for my overheads there. A couple of new mics that I just purchased. The SM27s, great for hi-hat. Really cool for overhead, but even like close miking for, say, like djembe, congas, acoustic guitar, things like that. So just sort of still experimenting with great recording sounds, and I'm starting to get those sounds. So anyways, guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment on this video, and I will do my best to get back to you. But pretty much that is the super kit. Sorry for the delay, it's taken me so long. It's been a busy season for me, but hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope I answered all your questions. Happy drumming to you guys, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.